Analyze Movies, live video podcast for people who love a deeper conversation about the films we watch today. Today, Jim and I are coming to you from the local Denny's with a See It or Skip It, a spoiler-free review of not one, but two flicks. Jim, tell us about what we just saw before we get into the actual review part.
Yeah, I just saw Wes Anderson's 12th feature, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, and newest release, big sprawling epic. This one, if there's differences in his approach,
It's called the Phoenician Scheme.
It's also called in Wikipedia an espionage dark comedy, which is, I mean, it's an espionage, but it's more industrial espionage, I think. So that's kind of a new wrinkle for him, if I'm being accurate. But yeah, it was probably his bloodiest movie yet in terms
Absolutely.
of literal blood.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, a really great one, a sprawling one.
It was like action.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'd heard so many middling reviews on it. I was pleasantly surprised by how much I got out of it.
Well, okay, then let's jump to it, Jim. The Phoenician Scheme. The Phoenician Scheme. Wes Anderson's 12th feature. Mm-hmm. Is it a see it or a skip it?
It's a see it for me.
See it for me as well.
Yeah.
You're right, it did get middling reviews. I've got some ideas of why that is. Why do you think it?
You know, I think people are getting a little tired of his style. For me, I've always been a big fan, so I'm not necessarily very objective. I just realized today that I've seen every one of his movies in the theater, like at least once in the theater, the very first time, including tonight. So a few years back, it would have been the first day it was released. Now, you know, life's a little busier and stuff like that. But so I suspect they're a little bit tired of him stylistically, although I did want to quote Peter Bradshaw from The Guardian, and he said this: "As ever, he's vulnerable to the charge of making films that stylistically resemble all his others, yet no more so surely than all those other directors making conventional films that resemble the rest of their own conventional work and everyone else's."
Yeah.
So I thought that was, you know, if you're going to see something like that, might as well see a kind of a unique guy. There's nobody that makes movies like he does. And there's always something, he always does something a little bit different.
I think when I hit on that stylistic thing, I think there's two reasons why it may be getting those middling reviews. Well, it's got all the quirk of other Wes Anderson films. It's certainly, the tone is darker.
Yeah.
And I think that may be setting people off. They're looking for a little more, you know, a little lighter, a little more, oh, where's the zany family relationships? They are there. Mm-hmm. But I think the other thing is, and I was saying to you in the theater, Jim, I mean, yeah, you see Ingmar Bergman, but I think I actually saw Carl Dreyer. You see Metropolis. I want to not just look at this film again, but I want to look at the last few of his films, because I think it really is kind of a tour through some of his formal influences.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, like, it's funny, before we even came, Jim, I was like, you know, one of his themes seems to be, and it's here too, you know, this relationship with the father.
Yeah.
You know, here it really is about this Corda, played by Benicio del Toro. That is his last name. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And then Mia Threepleton.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is the core, the father-daughter relationship. Yeah. But within a kind of, not just, ooh, are you my father? are you really my father?
Yeah.
I, but I was like, that's almost like so many films we watch, Jim, are family like that. Yes, it's a great place to mine for story in general,
Yeah.
but I think it really is a hallmark of American cinema, the importance of the family, and that people who are broken or seem weird or anything, it's because they're disconnected from family.
Yeah.
And I want to take another look at his film. He's certainly saying something about it stylistically, formally, but you know what? Compared to a lot of what we've watched before, that we've even enjoyed before, complimented before, I think he may actually be saying something more about family than the generic, no family bad, family good, that seems to be such a main theme in American cinema.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I was comparing this one earlier on to the Royal Tenenbaums. Of course, that one anchored around a corrupt, a formerly poor father figure
Yeah.
that's trying to redeem himself to some extent as well. And what would be the difference is that's a big messy family, but it's still a family. I mean, there's various levels of dysfunction, but it's still kind of a family. This one is more about a splintered, destroyed family. The mother or mothers aren't even there anymore. Yeah. There's just children and a father who doesn't particularly care. So this is sort of about the redemption of the father. It's also about an out-of-control businessman making up his own rules, seemingly without a conscience, who finally meets some sort of force in the form of his daughter. And I thought that was the key. That was a great relationship, and it was fascinating to see him sort of realize that what's the phrase when a solid object meets an unmovable force?
Yeah,
it's sort of that's what's happening in this movie. And Threppleton is great as
the immovable object, the irresistible force.
The irresistible force, yeah. And she's great as Liesel, who finally says, "I'm not doing this unless you do this, this, and this." Yeah. And he's like, "What?" And nobody's ever talked to him like that before. And you got a movie. So I thought that was quite. But yeah, often about the family, often about the fractured family. I wouldn't say he always comment, like, say the father in Rushmore is a quiet father. He runs a barber shop, right? Well, there's a father figure in the form of Bill Murray.
I think Bill Murray is more the
corrupt
father
figure.
Yeah, the father figure that he really likes to talk about.
Yeah.
He is the father figure that Rushmore needs to actually butt up against.
But then in Darjeeling, there's not even a father, I don't think. It's a mother that they're dealing with. So anyway, so lots of variations of family.
Yeah.
Crazy, wacky family in different locations and that kind of thing.
Yeah. But bottom line here, it's a see it. I think stylistically, you see him growing a little, or changing, or bringing, or maybe just touring, showing us his influences. Because there's some great stuff here. Wonderful performances.
Yeah. Michael Cera was great, and he did some variation of a Scandinavian accent, but it's like he studied it. Like, it's not just the usual dirty. He does different things with vowels and stuff, and I thought he's really, and there's a couple of looks that he gives, and I was up for it. I got all kinds of time for him in this role,
and of course, like some of the gags, the timing, the music he uses reminded me of, and look this up, Winnipeg artist, Deco Dawson. I think he actually goes by his given names, like his legal names now, but so he might be the whatever Boychuk, formerly known as Deco Dawson. But there is stuff in here, especially music choices, that remind me not just of like Carl Dreyer and the Ingmar Bergman and that, but local Winnipeg filmmakers, Deco Dawson, this guy, he was formerly a protege of Guy Madden. And then I start thinking about Guy Madden's films, and I'm like, I'm seeing that in this film. So, yeah, great flick. I think there's actually somebody was in the chat for a bit.
Oh.
Sorry we didn't quite catch that, because you're at a phone way down there. Like, I'm still several feet away.
Should I look it up on this?
But thanks for popping in. We do have one more film I want to talk about. You haven't seen it yet, Jim.
I have not.
But I did over the weekend. Me and a friend of mine, her and I went and saw The Life of Chuck. Interesting film, Jim. It is a slice of life.
He hasn't told me about it yet. He was waiting for this.
It is a slice of life film, and no spoilers here. You learn in the first 5 minutes that the eponymous Chuck, played in parts by Tom Hiddleston, is gonna die. And it's told in 3 acts, starting with the 3rd act, then the 2nd, then the 1st. I would say see it. I would say in some ways I did actually buy the book that the novella, the Stephen King short is from If It Bleeds, and so I bought it to read it, to just kind of compare notes and check it out. And I think in a lot of ways the film is better than the book. I think it's more effective in hitting some of the themes, the emotional notes, and that. Although I got to admit, the way the book story, the story in the book ends is it really sticks the landing. Although solid ending on this.
Yeah.
Couple of notes though, and of course it's in the trailer. There's this big scene. Basically, it's a key to the 2nd act. I think it's even kind of the midpoint of the film, is a big dance number.
Oh yeah.
That Tom Hiddleston does as a generic accountant, which the only time I had to lean over to the person I was watching the movie with, and I'm like, yes, when I think of gray, boring accountant, I think Tom Hiddleston. Yes. Yeah. I think there's a guy I would not notice anywhere. Anyway, so he bangs out this dance number, and it's amazing. It draws in a crowd. It's all very impromptu and super cool. All the drums, which reminds me of the band from New Zealand called Big Pig, who did all they only had vocals and percussion.
Wow.
It's kind of, and it's kind of amazing. But so drummer, him, dancing, getting the groove, the beat.
Yeah.
But, huge but here, I've seen Sinners.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a weird kind of, you will not, if you've seen Sinners, I don't think you cannot see that amazing dance scene in the same way.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm really looking forward to, Jim, is you watching this film.
Yes.
And then when they're both out on streaming, partly we can watch it again, but we can do a proper live stream, because they almost are in conversation with each other. Yes, there are some people of color in Life of Chuck, but especially once you read the book, you're kind of going, oh, this is a pretty, in many ways, very standard Stephen King, smallish town, white story, notwithstanding Chiwetel Ejiofor is in it.
Oh, that's right.
There is a wonderful woman gym teacher that's totally coded as a lesbian, totally coded as gay, but at the same time, it's like it works. Like it really works, and I think part of it is because she's also the dance instructor, and that's not a thing that you necessarily kind of put together. So that was cool, but otherwise, it's pretty white. It's a very good film, but I've seen Sinners, which is a great film.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to talk about it because there is a conversation, a dialectic relationship between those two films. Not saying it was intentional on the part of the filmmakers,
no,
but it's still there. Like I said, I've seen Sinners. So
say, what are you doing at your studio today? Oh, we're filming a dance scene. How about you? Oh, we're doing the same thing.
Cool.
They might be a bit different. I have us online. Whoa, it's going to be the never-ending loop.
But yes, I would say The Life of Chuck is a see it. And worthy of further discussion. Sure. A very good film. I've referred to Sinners. That's a great film.
Yes.
But, Jim, is there anyone in the chat? Was I right? Did I read that correctly? Or was I like...
Got likes, got 2 viewers currently. I'm not logged in to my thing, but yeah, we'll look it up later, I guess. But
anyway,
if it's DMG, how you doing?
How are you doing, man? But yeah, I think that's about it for us from here at the Denny's in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
How do I turn this off, Jim? Oh. I do want to stop streaming.